Oh my god. Oh my god.
So it's been a fat while since I've made a video in so long. 2019 was supposed to be my breakout year where I was going to pump as many videos as I could, but high school and the beginning of college just got in the way, and I just didn't really feel like there was any topics to cover. I'd been planning on releasing my Hero Factory video, but the video ended up being 20 minutes long and I felt it was just a bore fest. But really, I may work on that later, but as for now, Search for the Worst is on hiatus. I may change the subject to something else since now I have Robo-Riders, which, what a privilege. What a privilege to have them. And just in case you're wondering, I still do collect Lego, but I've mostly been collecting vintage Lego. But I have been collecting some newer sets. In terms of Bionicles, well, yeah. So you might be asking yourself, ugh, another top 10? What's this subject gonna be this time, huh? Are you gonna finally apologize for making that top 10 myths and rumors of Bionicle? Well, you know what? I am. That video, it's clickbait. I'm just gonna come out there and say it. It's clickbait. But this video, I want to bring topics that not a lot of people talk about. Now, Bionicle was a franchise, and it was a franchise first. And it wasn't just the toys that were there. There was, of course, the books and the movies, but there was a ton of other crap that, like, hardly anyone ever talks about. And this can be due to many reasons, such as being only available in Europe, or just being so obscure, hardly anyone ever covers it.
So, here are the top 10 most obscure Bionicle pieces of merchandise, in no particular order. Let's go already!
Ah yes, Bionicle, a climactic story between good and evil. Divisions are made, paths are betrayed, and pens are drawn. Yes, Lego has their own pen line, or they did, not anymore. But Bionicle was one of those themes that got the treatment of pens. Now, of course, this is lower on the list because this is a little well more known compared to some of the other entries on the list. And it's quite novel for the time, but of course, eventually you're gonna run out of ink. And can someone message me on how to replace it? I don't know how to replace the ink cartridge on these. The most customizable thing about them was you could put the Toa Master's mask, or if you got some other Bionicle character, you could put their respective shield or piece on there. My only gripe with these is they don't include real Bionicle pieces. It's like, come on, why do you have to include these little tiny things? Of course, from what I've seen, they're customizable, so you can actually integrate them with minifigures, which is pretty cool. I think it's the closest we ever got to minifigure scale Bionicles. Oh wait, hold on, the editor's telling me something. Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot about that. Anyway, on to the next entry. But still, it's quite a curious piece of Bionicle history. So for number 9, we have Lego clocks. Yeah, Bionicle clocks. So, now you can sleep and wake up with Madanui at your side. Now, I'm also going to be including the Bionicle watches because, I mean, it's basically the same thing, but it's portable. Now, interestingly enough, from what I can tell, the Lego, or, well, more or less, the Bionicle clocks lasted from 2001 to possibly 2006, whereas the Lego watches lasted from 2001 to the Glatorian era. That's pretty impressive. And I guess it really shows how popular Lego watches are. And just in case you're wondering, Lego alarm clocks still exist to this day, but they're in the form of Star Wars now. But it's pretty interesting to see how Lego really experimented with Bionicle. I mean, it was their most popular theme at the time, so it makes sense they would try anything with it. But it's quite cool to see. Anyway, moving on. So number 8 is Bionicle board games. Now, I've never seen one of these in person, but it's definitely curious to see this. From what I can tell, there was only 3 released. The first one from 2001, which is pretty iconic. Then there was one to coincide with the Mask of Light saga. And then, this is probably the most obscure one out of the bunch. There was one to tie in to Voyanui and the Mask of Life. As far as I can tell, there was only 3 of these. To be honest, I have no idea what you're supposed to do. And if someone can link me a good tutorial on how to play these, I'd be very curious to see. I mean, they look pretty well done, the chess pieces look nice, and you can definitely tell LEGO put a lot of thought, or the designers put in a lot of thought. It's really curious to see a board game of all things. I mean, this was before the 2010 era of LEGO board games that came out, so it's quite interesting to see them not use physical LEGO. I mean, from what I can tell, there are pieces in there, but they're not like that many LEGO pieces. It's very curious and interesting to see. And if you can find a copy for sealed, I mean, more kudos to you. I mean, you're definitely a true Bionicle collector if you have this. For number 7, I've chosen some Nightmare Fuel. Now, if any of you went to Legoland between 2001 to 2009, it's most likely you saw people in Bionicle costumes. And I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't translate well since, I mean, it's a biomechanical being and it doesn't translate with humans very well. But I mean, it's a good attempt at replicating the source material. But LEGO knew that there would be a market for kids wanting to dress up as the hottest Bionicle, so they made costumes. This is real. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the Vekama mask that came out during the Hordika line, but they also made this. Yoyo Paraka, I guess. It's quite an interesting thing to see a biomechanical being translated into a human. It just doesn't look right. It just doesn't fit. But it's definitely a curiosity, and someone comment in the comment section below, did you dress up as a Bionicle for Halloween? I'd be very curious to know.
No! Don't shut me up!
Before we continue this video, I'd like to say please like, share, and subscribe. Help me and support the channel by doing that, and you'll make someone else's day a lot better. So for number 6, we have the quintessential thing for any franchise. Now, let me tell you something. You can't have a franchise if you don't have some form of trading cards, and Bionicle most certainly did. Now, of course, these have become a novel and highly collected item between coveted Bionicle fans. I mean, it's kind of rare to see one, but it's pretty cool. And from what I can tell, they were made from 2001 to 2003 or 4, because most of the pictures I can find have the How on them and the Borok, which probably fits around that era. Now, I'm sure LEGO was trying to tap into this market, but this wasn't the only theme to, of course, have trading cards. There was, of course, later Ninjago, Legends of Chima, and Johnny Thunder Orient, or as it's known, LEGO Adventures. So, it's definitely clear to see that there was a fan base for this, because I mean, LEGO did it several times. But, from what I can tell, LEGO just didn't make any more, and now, they're just a piece of merchandise floating around in the Bionicle community. Okay, for number 5, I'm not gonna lie, this one's really dumb. But you know, I just have to include it because you'd never believe me if I told you something this ridiculous existed in the Bionicle merchandise category. That is a Paraka Yoyo. Now, if you're not familiar, it's to link up with the infamous
Yo, Paraka! Yo,
See, these are rappers. Not even Eminem wants to fight. Alright? This is Bionicle advertisement at its peak. Alright, Greg Farshty, you can suck it. Cause this is the pinnacle of advertisement. Yes, the controversial Bionicle Yoyo Paraka rap got a yo-yo as a pun for the beginning of the song. Get it? Because it's a yo-yo, and the song, yeah, you get the idea. Now, I'm not sure if this was a European exclusive or if this was actually sold in the States. Judging by its reaction from some people, I'm definitely going to say it's international, but I'd love to get my hands on this just so I can make fun of it. It's honestly an interesting piece, and it really shows the kind of sense of humor they had in 2006, because I mean, come on, they're literally making fun of the dumb rap song. But yes, tell your friends, tell them now, there's a Bionicle yo-yo, and it's a Paraka yo-yo.
For number 4, we have lunch pails. Well, yeah, lunch pails. I mean, come on. If the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and everybody else can have lunch pails, why not Bionicles? Now, these are pretty obscure, and I hardly see anyone talk about them. And I don't think anyone's selling them, so they're pretty rare, but they're pretty novel too. I mean, I would have killed to have one of these back in the day. Reckon I had Thomas the Train on mine. But anyway, I mean, I definitely could see Lego doing something like this. But really? Bionicle lunch pails. Some kid put his food in this. Some kid put his food in Hakan. I'm sorry, I'm just having so much trouble processing this. I mean, I literally just talked about a yo-yo right now, and now I'm talking about a lunch pail. Ugh, this world sometimes. But hey, I guess if you can get your hands on one of these, you can truly be the Bionicle collector. You can go to work or school every day and show them you support the Paraka's invasion of Voyanui. Yeah. So for number 3, I figured we're gonna transition from a lunch pail and go to what you'd probably be carrying your Bionicle lunch pail in. And that would be a Bionicle backpack. Oh my god, my 9-year-old self would have killed for one of these. If I had known this had existed, I would have never gotten a Superman backpack. Oh well, childhood dreams shattered. Now, personally, my favorite one is the Vakama version because I love red characters. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. And I love the way it looks. You can definitely tell Lego put in a lot of detail with this one compared to some of the later ones, which comparatively are pretty simple. They just have the logo of the era and then the different Bionicle characters. No disrespect to anyone who owns these. I'm just saying, I kind of like the mask backpacks better, because they seem to show more personality. Now, I'm not sure how many exist in terms of variety. It seems like they made them from 2001 up until 2009, since I've seen many different versions from many different eras. So I guess it's open to how many exist, but there's just so many of them. And I'm so shocked I never saw any of these. Anyway, I guess if you want one, they're out there, so there's your Bionicle backpack. Oh my. For number 2, I'm honestly not mentally prepared to tell you about this. Lego actually made tie-in Bionicle guns. No, this isn't made up. This was a real Lego product. You could buy these and you could shoot them at your sisters or your relatives. This is historical. As if the Zamasphere wasn't violent enough already. This, you could literally hurt someone with this. And I don't know if this was meant to compete with Nerf or something, but what the heck, Lego? You made this? How has no one mentioned this? These are real. You can look them up. They made them for the Paraka, and they made them for the Maranui too. And also the Glatorian. These cost $20 when they came out, and no one's selling them from what I can tell, but this is real. Lego actually made guns. You can't deny that they didn't make guns. They stamped their logo, they shipped it, they sold it, it was in stores, you could buy it, and they sold it. This is historical. Lego, of all companies, the family-friendly company, made Nerf toy guns shaped like bazookas. Unbelievable. If you can, if you have it in your collection, you must sell it. This needs to be in a museum. I cannot believe this exists. This is incredible. It's historical. We gotta move on. I could talk about this all day, but we gotta move on. And if anyone has this, please message me. I'm honestly curious to see if this performs well in real life. Anyway, we have to move on. And the one spot I've chosen is, of course, Lego's tie-in with Eggos. Who would have seen this coming? It's so shocking. I'm just kidding. It's Lego carry-on bags. Yep, Bionicle had its own carry-on bags. Now, of course, there's no pictures of this one that I have right here on screen, but there seems to be another one that I've seen. And, I mean, it sounds weird at first. I mean, Bionicle on a carry-on bag, but it's likely these were sold at like Legoland and stuff, where you're gonna need a heavy bag to buy stuff. I mean, I even have one from Legoland, and it's themed. So, it's definitely not out of the realms of possibilities, but I don't think the general Bionicle public know of the existence of these. So, they're pretty obscure. I've only seemed to found 2 pictures of them existing, so that just drives me to the conclusion not a lot of people got these. I don't know whether or not you could buy them from the store, or they were just Legoland exclusive, but they have to be the rarest Lego merchandise and also Bionicle merchandise I've ever seen. Now before you comment, no, I'm not counting Death Grips because 1, they came out years later, and I'm not sure how official they are with Lego. It doesn't seem like they have any partnership with them, so I'm kind of afraid to mention them, but I guess they could be a contender for another video. And also, I'm not counting second generation merchandise, because that exists too, but really, that's a topic for another video. But really, I just wanted to cover some merchandise of Bionicle that exists, but not a lot of people know about. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really enjoyed making it, and I really hope to make more. I can't promise anything because of my busy schedule, but I'm going to try my best to keep the channel consistent. I just want to say thank you for my 396 subscribers. It really means a lot considering I created this page when I was 14 years old, and now I'm like 19, so this really means a lot. So, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I can produce more content. This is Mask Maker Buddy, and I'm signing off.